Hello. Yeah, we'll wait for a couple more minutes and see if people are joining. Okay, so I'll. Hello, everyone. For the people who are new, I see a lot of new faces, so or at least new profiles. So, for people who. Hi, sorry. I see a lot of new profiles, and for them, this is a doubt clearing session, week 4 for basic course in ornithology, and I'm Jobin Varughese. I am a PhD student at Dr. V.V. Robin's lab, and yeah, this is part of our PMRF requirement that we are doing this. So, yeah. Okay, so I present the first question that's on your screen right now. I would prefer if you can use the chat box to answer the questions, and later, once almost everyone's answered, we can discuss if you want. B or D?
You're on mute, sir.
I know. Yeah, I was not talking anything. I was just mouthing the option.
Sorry, sir. I thought you were.
No, no, that's okay. Yeah. Also, I'm a little under the weather right now, so I won't be able to talk much. So sorry. So I mean, that would be more of discussion from your side if that's okay with you guys or with you people. Hello, Rugezi. Hello, Joseph from Rwanda. Glad I have international participants. Thank you for coming. B or D is your answer. Okay. Also, everyone knew Crag Martin's roost. Huh? I was not sure about that when I made this question.
Sir, martins and swallows are usually communal roosters, sir. So,
No, I wasn't sure about this particular species, but yeah. Actually, this is, yeah. All right, I'll give away the answer. Serpentigo. So basically, everyone had a everyone had a doubt with regarding B or D. So B harriers, they have this huge communal roosting that happens in grasslands across our country. So Tal Chapar in Rajasthan, then some other grasslands in um, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Hesarghatta. Yeah, these are the grasslands where harriers, mostly pallid harrier, Montai harrier. So these harriers roost very often. Like, yeah. So um, there is, basically it could be. If it's not a pair, then anything above three should be okay, right? A pair or a family, basically. Yeah. But basically, yeah, like for example, babblers, they roost, but that's all within the family. So, but they're usually the parent, sorry, the breeders, the alpha male and alpha female, and then there are other offsprings which help. They are the helpers basically. So they all roost together. So, can that be called communal roosting? I'm not sure, but I suppose not. Yeah. Anyways, I'll move on to the next question. Yeah. Okay. That's a video. Oh. So that's what the long-tailed mannequins courtship behavior looks like, and yeah, you can see two males basically in this particular video. Oh shit. Yeah, that's what club-tailed mannequins, long-tailed mannequins courtship behavior look like, and you can see in this particular video two males dancing and basically hopping on each other, and yeah. Okay, everyone's saying B. Interesting. So,
I have a doubt here. In the altruistic sense,
yeah,
one loses and someone, loses for the gain of others,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And in the mutualistic, both the parties win-win kind of situation.
yes,
So I was thinking from the perspective that at that moment for the mating, uh, the other entities are losing and alpha male is gaining.
Yeah.
But I was thinking from the perspective that probably if we perceive from the longer term,
Yeah.
the other parties might just get a chance to be that alpha male, or they get that position when alpha male is moved away or goes out of the
Yeah.
scene in longer term. So can that be mutualistic or not? That's what I was thinking. That's why I changed answer to
But
A.
yeah, but Sachin ji, when you base this on both the perspectives, when the perspective changes, the answer also changes.
Yeah, obviously,
For
right.
one,
That's why
yeah,
I was confused.
one for one it is altruistic, and for other is selfish. The who gains from it, and the other male loses out. So in that way, it is like selfishness. But what if that other bird has actually given away? You know, that's. Uh,
Correct. Yeah, I mean, I agree with your point because of the situations or the perspective, the answer is changing. So that's why I
Yeah.
was
So,
confused.
Actually, why I'm confused is not because of this duality, but because humans think on humans basis. Birds are completely different organism from humans, so we can only guess and predict only. But what they are doing, we can't understand, right?
True, true.
okay. So, do you think we look at the perspective of the individual animal to study their behavior?
No, sir. Each
We
action
look
which
at,
causes the affect a whole population. It's
yeah, we look at
one
a
action
population.
affect the whole population.
Yeah, we look at more at the population level, right?
Then
Uh,
it will be altruistic only, no, sir,
and
because the
pop.
alpha male will be stronger male, which has finally won. So the genes will be shared of the good genes. In sense, the winner genes will be shared. So
Also,
at the end,
Lakshmi,
yeah.
also in so when we are studying behavioral these patterns, do we only look for a short term like a snapshot, or do we look at a longer
Uh,
evolutionary?
it's longer evolutionary things. So the
Yeah.
one which actually
Yeah.
gets to transfer the genes to the next generation,
Yes.
and the same thing happens goes on generation level, next generation. So
Okay.
the good genes and robust genes are transferred from generation to generation.
Sachin, you were
So
saying something, right?
Sorry, can you repeat, Ms. Jobin?
You were talking about looking at it from a shorter perspective than a longer perspective. What
Right,
was it again?
right. Yeah.
Yeah, what was it again? Can you say that again?
In the shorter term or just that breeding season perspective, the
Yeah.
other males were losing on the mating.
Yeah.
Whereas if we go consider from the longer term perspective, the other males will obviously get a chance to be the alpha male or something. So either they are learning how to be a better or something, one part. The second could be related to the genes thing that Lakshmi was pointing out. I think there is a sibling gene, or I don't know exactly the terminology what that was about, which
kinship theory,
uh,
kinship theory,
kinship theory. Probably that will come into picture, and the overall society might just benefit. So it's a win-win for all the society, not just one party is losing. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So no, basically, what I also wanted to add was, yeah, you're right. There is a chance that the second male. So basically, the second male, even if it takes like 2 or 3 breeding seasons, the second male keeps doing it for the first male until the first male either disappears from the territory or moves away to a newer territory. Then the second male eventually becomes the alpha. So what happens is, in the meantime, it has been learning all the moves and stuff like that. So it was easier for it to catch on, and so it's more mutualistic than anything else. Even what Manjari's lecture is talking about, it's more mutualistic. And when we are talking about behavior, we're talking about at a population level, so individual perspective doesn't count. And when we are talking about behavior, we're also looking at a long term, at least the time is not 1 season or 2 seasons, it's more like evolutionary timeline. So I think you have to take care of both these things when you answer. So yeah, let me
sir,
just.
then if it is like mutualistic,
Huh.
uh, um, uh, it, um, how do that, like one organism, I mean, once one male gets to learn from the other male, the
Huh.
other male gets to mate.
Yeah.
But the other one, the one which gets to learn moves and all, they miss out on mating that time. No? So it's kind of a loss to that male, right?
Huh.
In mutualism, both will get each
Like I
of it
said,
will get
Lakshmi,
benefited.
like I
Yeah.
said, I mean, we don't, I mean, at least in behavior, we don't look at in a very short time period. We look at a very large time period, like how, I mean, at least in the, at least we look at in the lifetime of this bird, that bigger life, I mean, that bigger time period. So, okay. So, okay.
Okay. Okay.
Look at it this way. Suppose the second male wasn't ready. He wasn't. He doesn't know how to. I mean, I'm just anthropomorphizing over here. I wouldn't know. I mean, I haven't gone through the paper very well, but you can if you want. I'll post the paper somewhere. But I mean, first of all, the second male gets to learn the moves. The second male gets to, yeah. I mean, learning the moves is one advantage that the second male has, and also the second male is already. Oh yeah, it may also happen the second male gets to know about the territories where the females come because of the first male. So it's not like a one-way deal over here. It's not like the alpha male is the only one that's getting all the benefits. So it's the second male also getting benefit, but eventually in the time period, and they are all long-lived, at least multi-year lifespan for these animals. So yeah,
Okay, sir. Got it, sir.
yeah. This is a very technical question, but yeah.
Sir, actually the answer is not here. So should
Wow.
we should we like
Should be what?
actually yeah like we have to round off it like because it's 9%, sir. So it's not in the option. 9% of world's world population are cooperative breeders.
Okay, I'll tell you one more thing. When you're answering in these multiple choice questions,
Okay.
if you don't
Yeah.
find your answer, then the nearest answer is your answer.
Okay. Nearest one. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. There was somebody who raised their hands. Who was that? Sorry. I think it was Deepthi or something.
Good evening, sir. It was me.
Ah, Deepthi.
Even I was thinking the nearest one is the answer
Yeah, yeah.
because the correct answer was not given. The nearest will be the answer. I thought it is B.
Uh, Rusbe, you had to say something. Sorry, I missed this question. In the context of what actually happens in the ace of mannequins, it is.
Yeah, yeah. No, in the case of mannequins, what I meant is that, I mean, maybe I misunderstood it, but in the video lecture, I think it was Dr. Ghosh, I'm not sure, she talks about how the mannequins, how there is always in a kind. I think there are 2 or 3 other relatively inferior males who join the male mannequin and who kind of get to mate after, in subsequent years or something like that.
Yeah.
So that wasn't reflected in the question when it said that only one gets to mate. I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact context from the video.
Okay, I think it was Manjari's lecture, but yeah, you can look at the
Possibly.
lecture again. And India's nature. This is the second time joining into a live session. I had some general queries, which is the correct forum for that. Okay, I think the correct forum would be the discussion forum, which is like a link given at after every video. You might just let me check again.
It is given in the mail, sir. Whenever the mail comes out of the next session, live session, and the problem solving session, below it in the mail itself, in the bottom, they give the links to the discussion forum.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll go ahead with the answer. According to Lakshmi and Deepthi, there it is 9%, but the nearest would be 10%. But yeah. Okay.
So relatedness as in physiological, morphological, or social behavior, sir.
Relatedness as in genetic relatedness. Karnika, you had a question. Can you? Yeah.
Hi, Jobin. My question was related to question number 2, where we were dealing with the altruistic behavior. What we had understood from Dr. Manjari's lecture as well about that there may not be something as a true altruistic behavior, and in the end, and which also appears in your answer, right? So it's a general question, and I think I'm dwelling on it, which is why I'm asking. Does that go to then speak in general for cooperative species that there probably is less of true altruistic behavior and it's mutualistic, of course, with the handicap principle hypothesis and all of that put together, then in such questions, the most probable answer could be mutualistic, right?
Yeah.
And not altruistic.
Yeah.
That I just thought I'd clarify that for myself. Thank you.
It fits well with all the cooperative breeders, yes.
But then there will be no question of altruism, right? If everything is mutualistic, then where does the altruism comes from? Like, is there any?
Yes, I think that's what Dr. Manjari's lecture was dealing with, right, Lakshmi, when she was saying that because there were various hypotheses, then they were discussed, and then it was then suggested that true altruistic behavior may be unlikely, and actually it's more mutualistic when it's putting everything together. I think that is
that's what I thought, but I also felt that it was like 2 coins of the same, 2 faces of the same coin. You know, we can say mutualistic as altruistic also in some or the other context. You know, if I think I want to ask Manjari ma'am, but I completely forgot. But this is like both are like same. One on the same, I guess. Altruistic, because as in nature, nothing truly altruistic exists. If it is mutualistic, also it's an altruism in one point of view, right? In one bird's point of view, it's altruistic, right?
Like what? Like how, Lakshmi? How do you say that?
As I said in the same question also, like if the lesser, inferior male, it sees like it gives away the chance of mating to the more matured and more better male.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sacrificing for the betterment of population.
Yeah, but it's also getting a chance to be a better male in the future, right?
That can be the that can be the result of its altruism also. So
No.
mutualism can be seen as a result of altruism also.
But
Or
how are you saying? I mean,
you sacrifice now, you will get rewarded later.
that's altruism. That's isn't that so? Basically, what Manjari did show this plus minus.
Yeah, plus minus. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I thought it
altruism
is
is basically minus plus, right?
yeah, minus plus.
So
Here in the sense of the losing male,
huh.
it is minus and the gaining male is plus, right?
But at a larger time scale,
Uh,
plus and
yeah,
plus.
because when it gives place to the other better male to
But
male,
you're stuck on the
then
smaller time scale. Why can't you look at it larger time scale? Is what I'm asking.
uh,
Like if you look at it after after 2 breeding season or 3 breeding season, what does it say? Plus
the same
minus
thing
two.
will happen at the other male, no, sir. It
Ma-
is when it comes to the alpha male position, there will be another one which will be an inferior
Yeah,
male,
but
right?
how did it get to be the alpha male? Can we talk about this
Oh,
relationship?
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir, I got stuck in that.
Okay. Anyways, what is the answer for 4C? Okay, now I'm confused. Okay. Sorry, you guys keep thinking about it. Let me draw a figure so that I can be able to explain more. Okay, so the answer is 1/4. Yes, Lakshmi, it's right. First gen will be half and half. So brothers are related by. The coefficient of relatedness between brothers and sisters is half, and between parents and offsprings is half. Yeah, but when it comes to grandparents and grandkids, it's 1/4. Uh, Okay, yeah. And can someone tell me how much is it between the nephews? Nephews and niece and the uncles. Oh, uh, no, uncles and nephews, Lakshmi. Would it be? Yeah. Actually, it's 1/4 again. Yeah, it's 1/4 again. And when it comes to
Sir, uncles and nephews are next generation, so it will be like one to two, like 1/2.
no, no,
Next
no.
generation. It increases by square root.
Yeah. So okay. So one can do it like this. Um, so basically one can make a chart and we can see the relatedness. So basically if you if you make a chart with okay, I don't want to show my very crude drawing, but you can even go up go go to the, I mean, Wikipedia has the simplest page. You'll see it there, and it also has a chart where you can where you can see. So basically, uncles and nephews are 1/4 again, and yeah.
And that's what, how, I mean, like, okay, sir, fine.
Okay, okay, I'll show you. Oh, I can. Can you guys see this? Can you guys see this? Sorry. Okay.
So can,
Okay, yeah.
okay, as much as I understand, already the uncles are siblings, so they have 1/2. So when it comes to nephews, which are next generation, it will be 1/4, right?
Yeah, so that's what I said, no?
Oh, okay, that's what I just wanted to understand it, what it is.
Yeah. So uncles and the parent generation, uncles or aunts or whatever, the parent generation would be related point 0.5, and the parents and the offsprings are related point 0.5 again. So basically point 0.5 into point 0.5 is 0.25. So that's 1/4. I mean, you can calculate based like that. So basically, uncle and grand nephew would be point 0.5, point 0.5, and point 0.5 again. So that would be 1 by. Sorry. So that'd be 1/8.
If we see through this things,
Hmm.
then that does mean, like, after like 4 or 5 generations, whatever the chicks they take birth, they are entirely new organism, like new species, because genetic relatedness is almost gone, right?
No,
Like,
no, no. Okay, okay. So the genetic relatedness and this related coefficient are totally different. Please don't confuse that. Uh, no, it's not similar. But again, okay, I don't want to dwell on it, but
I will read it. I will
yeah,
read it.
you read that they're totally different, and yeah, it's not like it's not as simple. I mean, my brother and I wouldn't have like only half the genes common. I mean, that's not how it works. It's just a coefficient of relatedness, and it's just a number. It's not like that. I mean, we'll have. So for that example, let me just give an example. The genes of a human being and the genes of orangutan, which are nowhere related to Homo sapiens, they're almost 98% similar. So I mean, that's a very different kind of kind of a metric, and this is a different kind of metric. So be careful when you're doing this. You got it right, Lakshmi?
So somewhat I got it. I will keep hunting for it.
Yeah. All right. Uh, Karnika, do you want me to explain this deducing, or did you? Okay, I'll make a bigger diagram so that you can. Sorry, I was. Yeah.
Sir, I just want to understand the term conditional probability. So, what does that mean?
Oh my God. It's so conditional probability is the probability after the probability of something else is taken care of.
So basically, the second event's probability, if you are trying to calculate, and it depends on the probability of first event, that is conditional probability. But if both of these events are independent,
Can you just repeat? I'm not able to get the hang of
suppose suppose you are trying to calculate the probability of one event, but it actually depends on other events' probability, then it is a conditional probability. But if it is independent of any other event, then it is standalone probability, meaning
Oh,
normal probability.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, it's like you're drawing. Suppose there is a box containing orange and chocolates. Okay, some X number of orange and Y number of chocolates. So, what is the probability of drawing orange first time and the next time again orange? So, the second probability is actually dependent on the first, right?
Ah, yes, yeah, I understood.
That's the condition.
Sir, excuse me.
Yeah.
An example of conditional probability when it comes to this subject would be the probability of birds helping their kin when considering how much energy they've already spent, right, sir? The previous session.
Yeah. So this is the high effort and the low effort one. Yeah. That's what. The high effort is
That would be the
basically
condition.
yeah, high effort is basically they have undergone one session of helping their parents, and the low effort is basically they haven't gone that whole process till now, so they are just like fresh ones out of the nest.
The first bar is low effort, the second bar is high effort, right, sir?
Yes. So basically, it says that the high effort is less, the probability is less. Anyway, I'll give you the answer. It's A and B. So this was Emlyn and Reek's paper on on the bee eaters and the merops, yeah. And over there they looked at the coefficient of relatedness like 0.5, 0.25, and what is the probability of the helpers helping out the parent or the breeders in that case. So basically what they find is as the coefficient of relatedness decreases, the probability also decreases. But what they also find is that if so there are two types of helpers. One is the low effort and the one is the high effort. So low effort is basically the helpers that haven't helped in the past before, and high efforts are the helpers that have helped once or twice before, or at least once before. So the high effort, the probability reduces a bit, whereas the low effort, they definitely help. They have more probability of helping. So that's the study all about.
So, in a
Sir,
general layman sense, it's about experience.
Experience, yeah, something of
Sir,
that.
is it also about like switching of works? Like in one season, this group of birds might help. Then the next season, another pair of birds might help, like alternating.
I don't think that's how it works. Suppose if the breeders didn't manage to raise any chicks that year because of a bad weather or something, then it's the same set of offsprings that help in the next season also. And sometimes it may happen that the whole family unit consists of last year's chick, this year's chicks. So yeah, all of these, there are different versions of things happening. So Govins, your theory might not fit very well when it comes to that.
So it's to do with the age and experience.
Yeah, one can say that, but yeah, to actually know what it is, you might have to read the paper. But yeah, but yeah. I'm just a little wary of throwing in these words because when you talk about it in a layman's term, it's very easy to get. To put it in a very anthropomorphized manner, which is actually wrong when you're looking at or when you're studying behavior in birds and animals. So, I suppose. I suppose you get it, but probably you can ask this like why is ask this in the discussion forum to any of the professors, like why is it not a good thing to look at look at the behavior in a very anthropomorphic point of view. So
That point of view only is important to understand also. Like we can't understand word language, we can't understand the societal social behavior. If we have to understand the social behavior, we have to draw some kind of comparison between our way of life and their way of life.
no,
So,
no, it's not like that. So suppose you have to understand infanticide, which is like the father killing, or the dominant male killing the previous male's cubs. How would you put it in an anthropomorphic way? I mean, then that would mean that the males are the villains in the I mean, if you put it like that, then it's a very gray area. I mean, animal behavior cannot be studied unless, I mean, if you're putting it all in anthropomorphic point of view. Do you understand my point? I mean, what I just said.
yes, sir. Yes, sir, I understood. That's why I tried to talk back. Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put my point because, as you said, the whole animal and bird world is different. We can only conjecture and we can only guess. So
Yeah.
guessing is done through our past experiences and what we have learned. So that their anthropomorphic interference does happen when we guess. Because
Yeah, I mean, I
we,
suppose when you were in 1600 or 1700, it would have been very good to do that. But now that we have reached a level where we know a lot of things that happen in the animal world, and nothing, I mean, not many things can be explained in a human perspective. Some things happen because of evolution or the other reasons. But if you try and explain it through human perspective, you'd fail to fail to understand a lot of things. So
yeah, I
it's
understood.
better if you don't do that.
Yeah, I understood
For
now.
further clarification, I think you should ask this in the discussion forum.
Yeah, okay.
So sorry, this is supposed to.
Volunteering to guard is the most common altruistic activity. When a babbler group is occupied with routine activity like searching for food, often one of them guards from the top of a tree canopy or a high, bare branch, ready to sound the alarm when predators approach. The babblers are safe within the thickets, being well adapted to a thicket of trees and shrubs. But a predator that surprises them in the open can catch them easily. A guard that can sound the alarm in time is therefore very important. The role of the guard isn't easy, but it seems that babblers often volunteer to guard even when they are still hungry.
Okay, so the question is right in front of you. Okay, I'll just give the answer then. Yeah.
Volunteering.
Okay. Sorry, I think it has. Just a second.
Sir, in the C option, is
Huh.
it the size of the insect population or the insect as such? It's morphology. I mean, bigger insects or bigger population of insects. Sir. Like,
What do you think, actually?
I feel population, sir, because if the conditions are good, then there will be more prey. No?
Okay. So, why do we think it's the answer? Where is the yeah yeah? Most of you said B. Some people have said D. Why do you say it's D?
I initially thought it would be D,
Huh.
but then D is both A and C C indicates increase in size of insects available, which is actually not a constraint.
Okay.
I mean, that's a favorable situation. So I thought it can only be B.
Yeah. So
And also I chose B because during the time of calamity, during time of pressure, packs come first. So the population sustenance and sustenance of the population is more important than individualistic pursuit. So in that way, each will help. Each bird will help the other bird in the group when the prey or when the food is less. But when it is plentiful, then there is like chance of uh, race or fight or something like that.
all right. So yes, the answer is B. Increases with the
Sir,
yes.
well, in such a case, in case of B, birds stick together in a group since uh, in such a case the availability of resources is lower and there's a greater risk dispersing. So that's why they stay back with their parents, right, sir?
More or less, yes. Yeah.
But in such a case, wouldn't that mean a greater drain on the resources? If it's all if there's a large group of birds in just one area, wouldn't that be counterproductive?
But the opposite, what do you think the opposite would be? Suppose it's a very bad weather, I mean, bad climate or whatever. So,
Less chance of survival if it is the reverse.
yeah.
So survival is more important than.
Which do you think will evolutionary be selected against? Do you get my point, Govind?
Could you repeat it, sir?
I said, what would be the opposite of not staying back with the parent? This thing,
It would be dispersing.
dispersing. But suppose there's a very I don't know. I mean, it was a very bad rainfall or something, and the resources don't look very good. So what would the dispersal lead to, most likely?
Greater chance of
death. Right. So, evolutionary, what would be selected then? Or selected against?
sticking close to
Yeah.
sticking close to home.
Yeah. So, if you think it that way, I suppose it should be okay, right? Anyways, yes. This should be easy. Shahana is putting option S. So it's like, whoa. There's one more goal of science that Suhel was talking about. Does anyone remember that? Oh, I forgot it. So
Correlation and causation.
no, there was one more. Not correlation. Inference from the prediction is basically predicting the patterns. Describe patterns, look for patterns. Yeah.
Explanation.
No. Which
Why-
week's quiz
why
are we
part?
discussing? Ball, we are discussing week 4. That is basically Manjari's talk on social behavior and Suhail's talk on methods of science and research. Okay, I forgot about it, but basically that has something to do with. No, I mean nobody remembers what the 4th goal of science was. I mean, I don't know the exact term he used, but I can explain in different terms, paraphrases.
Deductive method or something related to that.
So basically, there's looking for patterns. Then there's study processes. Then there is prediction. Then there is one where you take a lot of data together and wait, I'll just
Hypothetical deduction method, is that the one?
no. That is a type of. That's a type of studying science. So that's not goal of science. Just a sec. I will.
Was it modeling and synthesizing?
Yes. Modeling and synthesizing. Yes.
So modeling comes under study process. No? So if we
No.
have to study a pattern, we need to model something and then we have to infer from it. No?
No. Modeling can be abstract. Studying processes requires data.
Sir.
Huh.
Modeling seems more like a method of studying science than a goal itself.
That's what I meant, sir. That's what I meant. Modeling and synthesizing are method of study processing, sir.
Right.
So are you suggesting? Sorry, it's a question. Are you suggesting that modeling will be something different or opposite of the looking for patterns, wherein you propose a model first and then try to see if that observation fits into
No,
that
I was
model?
talking about synthesizing, not the modeling part.
Okay.
Just the,
Okay. So hypothesis.
Wait, where is it?
But for synthesizing something, we need to have a pattern, something to go about, right?
Oh.
It comes under the broad umbrella of looking for patterns.
Even then, synthesizing and modeling, they seem to be like a method of more like a method or objective than an actual overall goal.
Okay.
The way I look at it is it's not an overall goal, but if you break up something into tasks, then part of your task, the goal could be to synthesize. So I don't know, I mean, whether that's an accurate way of looking.
Sorry.
Then this will say the part of the task, the task which actually amounts to the whole goal, achieving of goal. Then how can synthesize be the fourth type of goal? Because it's just a part of the task. Task is where the
In
study
that
process
sense, yeah,
ends.
it probably doesn't fit
When the
with.
task ends, then the prediction happens. Because the task ended, whatever data we got, we predict this is what might have happened. So when the task ends, then the goal is achieved. So there is no role of synthesis here apart from being a tool to achieve the result, right? So it's a process.
So maybe if you look at goals as being hierarchical, then it doesn't fit into this hierarchy of these three goals. But I would still
How
think
can
that
science be hierarchical? There need to be some kind of a sense into it.
He said hierarchy.
hierarchical. I said.
Hierarchical. Okay, sorry.
This may be the kind of overarching kind of hierarchy and the top goals. But if you break it up further, maybe the lower hierarchies.
That's what I
Synthesizing and
said.
modeling would
It's a
both
broad
be,
umbrella.
yeah.
It's a broad umbrella under which it comes. It's itself not a goal.
A better way of looking at it is to think of modeling or synthesizing as a subset of a goal. Like it's like a means to an end.
Exactly.
Try to synthesize or you try to model in the hopes of achieving a goal, not because it's a goal itself.
Sorry, yes, goals of science are only these three, and methods of science are the above, the four that we're talking about: observation, experiment.
Where do we explain in these three the why part of goals of science? Isn't why part the goals of science?
Study processes. Explanation, explain the process. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is. Yes, I think I said week 4. They bowl. I am not discussing assignment questions. I am discussing, yes, like Lakshmi said, this is based on the talk given by the professors. I've just made my own questions along that line, and we are discussing that. Okay, this one is simple. So this is where the fourth option, what we discussed, was missing. There's observation, there's experimentation, modeling, and what was the last one?
Synthesis.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by attribution? Is that something you just made up?
I just made it up.
I took it as attributing to something, like wild guess, and wild guess doesn't fit in the scientific.
Then I chose the right word to confuse you. Okay, the last question, do you want to discuss that, or we got the answer? Because we have already discussed a little bit.
No, sir, it's fine. The previous one, no, sir.
Sorry?
Yeah. The previous question, no,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's clear, sir. It's very.
In fact, although you may have read that the hypothetico-deductive method is the key to all science, this is simply not true. A lot of research has no need for hypotheses, including those involved in description, classification, and more. Often have no need for but what if the phenomenon we are interested in is directly observable? Well, then we can directly observe it, and therefore we have no need to pose hypotheses. Pattern
Yeah, I mean, so I'll play a video. I mean, it will be more of an audio for you. I'm not sharing the video. I mean, it's there in one of your this thing, and see what you, I mean,
that are observable from the hypotheses we have. But for example, the ecological process leading to the decline of vultures and about it, what it actually means. Different researchers appear to use it in quite different senses, so let me try and clarify the meaning of the word. The main thing to understand about a hypothesis is that it is a statement about something that cannot be observed directly. For this reason, hypotheses are often about a process rather than a pattern. For example, the ecological process leading to the decline of vultures cannot be directly observed. Neither can the evolutionary processes leading to a parent species splitting into two daughter species, since this has happened far in the past. So if we are unable to directly observe, we have to derive predictions that are observable from the hypotheses we have. But what if the phenomenon we are interested in is directly observable? Well, then we can directly observe it, and therefore we have no need to pose hypotheses. Patterns are most often directly observable and measurable, and so we most often have no need for hypotheses in descriptive research. In fact, although you may have read that the hypothetico-deductive method is the key to all science, this is simply not true. A lot of research has no need for hypotheses, including those involved in description, classification, and more. Now, all this has been rather abstract.
Okay, so what do you think is the answer now? I mean, it may not change. I'm just asking. Did I understand something wrong over there? You did hear the the lecture, right?
Yes.
Sir, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, now here I didn't hear any audio, sir.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
I did play it, right? Okay, so basically what he's saying is, okay, let me just click the answer. So what I understood from what Suhel's lecture was that he's talking about observable pattern and classification, which need not have hypothetical deductive method, but he was talking about descriptive research, which is slightly different from certain other pattern finding research. So I mean, this could be wrong, or I mean, C could be the answer. Yes, Govind.
Sir, I feel finding a pattern does involve hypothetical deductive
Why
method. Like, for example, let's take Sherlock Holmes as an example. Like, he says he catches, wishes to catch Jack the Ripper. He'll need to find the patterns used by the killer, right, sir? He needs to figure out what kind of pattern it is. He needs to come up with a hypothesis.
Okay, Sherlock
So in a
Holmes
way,
is a bad example.
finding a
Let's
pattern-
Govind, let's talk about something that like in the case of birds or something. I mean, Sherlock Holmes was given in apostrophe over there, so he said that's not exactly applicable everywhere. So
I simply wanted an excuse to bring in Sherlock Holmes, sir.
why? No, anybody else has anything else to say about this? Like, is my answer wrong? Is what I think the answer is wrong, or do you think C should be the answer? What if I write? Yeah, go on.
So in the hypothetical deductive method, we have some observations and we try to predict something, right?
No, yeah, we have observations, we have a hypothesis.
And then based on that, we do some hypothesis saying that maybe this is what the reason is, or this is what will happen,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So in that case, we will be doing, I mean, we will be anyway finding the pattern between those observations, isn't it?
No, so what he's saying is most often when you're looking. Okay, did you not hear it because it was playing on my laptop?
It was not audible.
It was not audible.
No, sir, it is not audible, sir.
Okay.
You
Anyways,
might have to, I guess, adjust some setting where it lets us hear what's playing inside. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's okay. But I mean, you guys also have the same clip. I was basically playing from 5:15 to somewhere around 6:40. That's the method of science and research question. Suhel's lecture, where he talks about this.
So, finding a pattern, I mean, I felt that that's a little kind of vague or, in fact, misleading. Because if you say observe a pattern, and which means that it implies that it's obvious and observable, then you don't need a hypothetical deductive method for that.
Okay.
But what if the pattern is not easily
Observable.
visible? What if you have to deduce it using other clues?
Yeah.
There is a pattern, but it's not a very obvious and clearly visible one.
Okay.
Exactly, sir. For finding a pattern or discovering a pattern might require this method. Simply observing a pattern and coming with the answer is different.
Okay. So, like you also said something about descriptive research, like patterns in descriptive research. So, I think there's something about that. Does anyone? I mean, can anyone tell what descriptive research exactly mean?
Research using descriptions.
Yeah, but it can also mean like what I can Google and tell you is accurately and systematically describe a population situation or phenomenon. It can answer what, where, when, and how question, but not why questions. Descriptive research design can use a wide variety of research methods to investigate one or more variables. So basically, yeah. So if I write the option A as observing a pattern, then it would have been both A and C, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. Okay, cool. I'll change that then. Your next question.
Sir, with regards to this question, there's
Sorry?
general or with context to what is.
I mean, what do you think?
I think both A and B are the answer. A is within this context, and B is also
I mean, that term comes from there,
included in the
right?
general meaning.
Yeah, the term comes from there. That's what. Okay, enough. Yeah, so I mean, arms race. The term actually comes from the definition B, where it's a race to get maximum military strength. But in evolutionary terms, it's also used as definition A, where it defines basically as long-term escalating competitive situation, where each competitor focuses on outdoing the other. So, you guys heard of Red Queen's hypothesis?
No. Can you elaborate on that?
So, if you guys, I mean, even I haven't read Alice in Wonderland, but if you guys know a bit about Alice in Wonderland, this term, the Red Queen's hypothesis, comes from there. So basically, it's Alice talking to Red Queen, and wherever in the Wonderland, she's trying to run, but she stays at the same place. So Red Queen's hypothesis is basically almost the same arms race, where okay, I can properly, if I want to properly define, then let me just bring it up. So it is used in a lot of these uh, hypothesis. It's a hypothesis in evolutionary biology proposed in 73 that species must constantly adapt, evolve, and proliferate in order to survive, while pitted against ever evolving opposing species. Okay, I'll just copy this. Yeah, the you can check the chat box for the definition exact. So basically, it's very similar to arms race, but yeah, there's only a slightly different thing. So like in case of a cheetal, a deer and a cheetah basically. They both have evolved longer legs to I mean, because that gives them the speed, but I mean, so probably the evolution might have lengthened their legs, and now it cannot be lengthened anymore because of the I mean anatomical what's the word for it, like a limit that's possible. So similar to arms race in brood parasitism. I mean, basically both the brood parasite and the host has this arms race where one tries to outcompete the other, and the other tries to evade the new technique that the first one has evolved or something like that. So that's the whole it's very similar to arms race, but yeah, you can look it up and go further into it. And it's one of the famous questions that are asked in PhD interviews, so you might as well know it.
So brood parasitism can be part of arms race?
Yes. I mean, arms race is just a general term. Red Queen's hypothesis is something that's usually used in evolution.
Sir, what's the difference between the Red Queen hypothesis and arms race? They seem to mean the same thing.
Yeah, they seem to be meaning the same thing, but arms race is generally not used in. I mean, arms race is less of a technical term, whereas Red Queen's hypothesis is the term that is used usually.
So arms race is simply a layman term.
Most, yeah.
If I may just recall, I believe I read this long back in a paper again on brood parasitism, where it talked about how these hosts uh, constantly try to outdo the parasite, and the parasites themselves keep evolving to that, so that it's kind of both are in square one all the time.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what, since you mentioned this, Alice in Wonderland, I remember reading it up where she's running, but she's still more or less stuck in the same place.
Same place, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, they are evolving and they are putting a lot of effort in evolving, but evolving to get to the same position, same location, basically. So the same.
Wouldn't predation also be a good example?
It is. Predation is a very, I mean, predation is one of the, I mean, we have, didn't we, I mean, in the last lecture also we talked about how predation can affect birds' nesting patterns. So predation is a really good evolutionary force sometimes. It's a very, really strong evolutionary force, is the right term.
Sir,
Yeah.
uh, I this may not be the case for birds, but does parasitism always have to be a negative thing for the host? Like I've heard about this situation in which certain freshwater turtles they dig up the nest and lay eggs inside the nest of Nile crocodiles as a way to ensure protection for their own eggs. The turtles themselves can't protect their nests, but they can. But when the turtles' eggs are inside the nest of a Nile crocodile, they're comparatively better protected. So in such a case, the the host may not be severely affected by the brood parasite,
But
right,
is
sir?
that brood
So,
parasitism? I mean, I'm a little confused over here. I mean, I understand what the context is, but the turtle is not removing any of the. Oh, you're talking about the care that the crocodile is giving. But once the eggs are hatched, would there be any care?
well, after the eggs are hatched, the mother digs up the nest. They carries the hatchlings in its jaws into the river, sir,
Yeah.
and uh,
I would
and
love
it
to.
protects the hatchlings, but it doesn't really feed them or anything.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if
I
there's
mean, the
a.
hatchlings pretty much hunt and feed for themselves. They only stick to the mother for protection. So I
Yeah,
don't
but
know
the
if
turtle hatchlings
I,
immediately go into the open seas, right? I mean, they don't stay at the shore, is what I understand.
that's a, these are freshwater turtles,
Oh,
not
these are the
the.
freshwater ones. Which ones are they?
Yes, sir. I don't know the species. I watched this in a documentary a while ago about how freshwater turtles they instead of simply laying eggs on their own, they lay them inside the nest of a Nile crocodile, so that the crocodile mom would offer protection for its eggs as well as the crocodile ones too.
Sorry, what was your question again? Does it actually give has negative effects on the host?
Yeah, yes, sir. I mean, I was wondering. I mean, more in birds. In the case of birds, there'll always be a negative effect on the host nest. But I don't know if I was wondering if that was always the case.
There's a lot of research on cowbirds and brood parasitism, and I'm not sure if everything is negative, but I mean, I can't remember exactly. But just look at brood parasitism and cowbirds. It's called. I mean, if you Google Scholar,
Cowbirds.
yeah, I've written it in the chat box. Rusbe, you're asking, is this an example of brood? Yeah, that's what. But
No, I meant Govind's example
yeah,
of.
understood. Yes. I mean, even I was a little confused, but then he did say that the crocodiles, the mother actually cares for the nest, so there is some caring involved. And once the eggs are hatched, it takes it to the water or something. So there's some interaction that is although less than what a altricial chick demands, but still it is an interaction that we cannot ignore. So probably, but then again, the host has some negative effects. I mean, the amount of energy it is putting to care, although it seems the same, but you never know. I mean, uh,
So was that the crocodile carrying the hatchlings to the seawater? That's what you mentioned, or
yeah, that's what he said, no, Govind?
I took it to mean
I'm
the turtle
surprised.
mother.
Yeah, even I'm surprised that crocodiles carrying turtle hatchlings, but I mean, I'm not sure what nature can throw at
It,
you.
Govind, if you can share that
they,
documentary link, it will be helpful.
they,
Sir, this is a good example of not to anthropomorphize all the workings of nature. So, I just want to tie back to the old discussion, previous discussion, where we can't judge or we can't come to a conclusion whatever happens in the bird world through the spectacles of human emotions and human experiences. So it does come under this, whatever now the example going here. Like we were shocked and we were like it was surprised with all this kind of interactions. But nature works mysteriously. We can't judge it in the way we judge the other human, right?
No, Sachin and Rusbe, do you want to share why you were surprised, if you were actually?
No, the
No,
point
what?
is
Sorry.
okay. Let's be continue.
Sorry, Sachin. No, no. Oh, the only thing is when Govind described it, I thought that he was referring to the turtle mother that takes the hatchlings back to the water.
Yeah, me too. But then, if the crocodile mother is actually taking the hatchlings, I am actually surprised because it might just try to predate on those turtle, chicks, because that's typically a predator behavior even for crocodiles to go and eat those things.
Yeah, but apparently it doesn't, according to Govind's.
Yeah, so that's why I was asking if we can share some documentary on that.
Yeah,
It'll be. I was just
But
trying to
then
search.
again, I'm just thinking aloud. If it's probably instinctive for crocodiles to eat any young, other crocodiles that are not their own hatchlings. But if it's instinct at the time of hatching to take it to the water, maybe the crocodile does that for the turtles also.
as well.
Maybe for that time, its instinct is suppressed.
Probably.
Yeah, that's probably true. I
Yeah,
mean, both the turtle hatchlings and the crocodile hatchlings are in the same nest, and the mom, like, she can't really grasp with her hands. She has to carry them all in her jaws, so she can't really differentiate at the time.
yeah, probably some kind of an imprinting or something that might happen. I mean, imprinting in both ways, like the mother imprinting on the chick hatchlings and the hatchlings imprinting on the mother.
I'm not sure what happens when all the hatchlings reach the water. The turtles could simply swim away.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, I mean it's something that I don't know about, and if you do get the video, do share if possible. Even I'm curious about it. By the way, where is this
And when
exactly? Which? Where did you see this?
you mean where this occurs?
No, where did you see? So you're saying Nile crocodile, right? I can Google it up. Yeah. All right.
The Nile crocodiles are found in Africa.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyways, the answer is yes. Dave, you have a question?
Yes, I just unmuted my mic. In this question of arms race between the crow and the quail, I see always the quail winning.
Koel?
In the arms race between the quail and the crow example of the last question,
Yeah.
I always see the quail winning.
Winning
Okay.
in terms of
So
what?
what quail winning in terms of it throws away the crow's eggs
Huh.
and it gets its own hatchlings.
Okay.
What arms or what protection does the crow have in this race?
So, okay. So basically, the lecture also talks about how crows can distinguish between a coils and then. Sorry, this is the same as the next question, but if the crows are able to distinguish between a coils and its own egg, then it can possibly throw the egg out.
But it doesn't, right?
It does. Sometimes it does.
Okay. No, and another related question was, can the crows keep a count of the eggs they laid or something?
Oh, that a lot of studies have been done. Probably you'll have to
Okay.
Google it, but a lot of studies have been done.
Sir, I just want to
You are
add
saying
here.
that the crow can distinguish between the eggs and again reject the quail's eggs?
Sorry?
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if they are able to distinguish between them, then they probably it can reject them.
No,
Sir,
when you
I would
say
like to.
And
I would like.
about the sorry Lakshmi, just a sec. About the count, there is some research where the coils remove the exact number of eggs from the crow's nest as it lays in it. So if it's laying one egg, probably it'll remove one egg out of the crow's nest. So basically, the counting is done by the quail. I'm not sure about the crows, but yeah.
Yeah,
Lakshmi,
yeah.
you go first. Govind, you can go later.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to just add to sir whatever they sir asked. It's not like as if the Koreal is winning. Yeah, it targets one nest, and like as I had also discussed with Suhel sir in that session, I had my own observations where the coal had a victim parasitized only one nest out of 10 nests. So it's all about probabilities, you know. So yeah, if one in one nest, if a koel wins, as you say, there are nine more nests where it is protected from koel's parasitism. So there, by the sheer number of crows against the number of koels, it is always not exactly like who wins or who loses. It's always a gray area.
Okay. Yeah, probably. Govind, you had to say something?
Well, I was going to mention that crows can most likely would be able to keep count of the eggs, count of the eggs in their nest. Their crows are considered the smartest birds after all. I was just saying that they may have difficulty distinguish between their eggs and the coal's eggs. So that's why even if they do count extra eggs in their nest, they probably are unwilling to throw out. They're probably doubtful about which eggs are theirs and which are not. So they're hesitant about.
Yeah, I don't know about this particular case, but there have been studies. This particular species, couple, the two species dyad. But I do know that there are some species which, when get into doubt, they abandon the nest. That's one. That's one way that they try to outdo their competitors. The other one is they pick the egg and throw it away if they can distinguish between them. That's the other way. And yeah, I can't think of any more ways, but yeah, there are these two ways where. So I'm not sure if it happens in quail and crows or what exactly happens in quail and crows, but yeah. And like I said, coils can definitely count because cuckoos can, because cuckoos are also brood parasites, and because I have read that for each egg that they lay, they throw out one egg. So yeah, they're definitely doing the counting over there.
Sir, also a better way of deterring brood parasites is, instead of simply trying to distinguish the eggs, wouldn't it be more productive to change their habits of raising their chicks? I mean, the only reason the coal has chosen the crow is that the raising habits of the crow are effective for the coal's chick also. If they are able to sufficiently change their habits to be unsuitable for coils, wouldn't that also help?
Habits in what sense? You're not,
Maybe they can.
there could be a lot of things that you can talk about, like type of food, type of, where they are feeding the chicks. What do you mean? Because both of them have altricial chicks, so it definitely can't happen outside the nest. And both of them are very generalist when it comes to food. So they eat chicks are especially fed with a lot of protein rich diet also. So apart from that, what habits are we talking about?
I was hoping you'd have some examples.
Oh no. So anyways, it's not something that I mean we might we might speculate and all, but it didn't happen in nature till now. So probably not something that yeah. I can't say anything.
But evolution is not so clear cut, sir.
Sorry.
Well, evolution isn't so clear cut, right, sir?
Yeah, evolution is never clear cut. Yeah.
It's just if barely passing.
With the other with the other example, which is slightly related to arms race and this brood parasitism, was that the cuckoo chicks were able to mimic their sounds, so that even the other I mean, crow or the other maybe sunbird or whatever that
Yeah.
mother or parent is, they are feeding them, right? So that is another tactic that was used by the parasite.
Yeah, it's a reed wabbler, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know the exact
yeah, reed
species.
wobbler
Yeah.
and cuckoo. Yeah, yeah. That's also one of the arms race thing where the one of the brood parasite is trying to outdo the host in that sense. And the colors in the mouth of the brood parasite, they also instill this feeling in the host to feed the chicks, and there are a lot of things. Like, yeah, if you read about brood parasitism, you'll come across a lot of things. But yeah, let's.
I've also heard cuckoo. So I've also heard cuckoo chicks that might kill the other host chicks
Oh,
to.
yes. Have you seen a video of that?
I saw it in a documentary involving birds
Yeah,
and brood
it's
parasitism.
quite nice. It actually holds the egg on the back of the chick, and then slowly edges towards the corner and throws it out. It's quite interesting to see.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what I saw. I even saw them throw the other chicks, live chicks.
Yes. Anyway, this answer is all of the above. Oh, this lecture had a lot of mixed species flocks, so I thought we can come back to it again. Appa Sahib, do you have any, something to say?
Sir, good evening, sir.
Hi.
Sir, sir, actually, sir, I am working in this. I am manager of the World Magazine House, sir. Actually, it's a bird paradise. This thing resort. So many birds are come and visit. Today, what happens, sir? In the morning time, so there is a owl nest, and the mother owl is sit on the egg or the chick. We don't know, sir, because it's inside the some kind of a branch. No, it's inside the tree. So two crows, they're willing to means attacking to the those chicks or the eggs.
Huh.
So unfortunately, it was not happened because the mother is she will not means go away from the nest.
Yeah.
So almost an hour the fight was.
Oh, that's called mobbing, and that's not particularly because of the nest or egg. I think it's generally all the crows attack all the predator birds.
No, sir. Usually, what happens, sir? Because almost 1.5 years I was there in the jungle. So maximum, sir. We are watching the so many nest. No. So I saw one nest. No, it was that was orange-headed ground thrush. So there was a two chicks, sir. Unfortunately, gray hornbill came and took means eaten in front of me only.
Yeah.
Both the both the male and female attacked the grey hornbill. So they see the grey hornbill will not go away from the without both the this thing finished it off and then it went off.
Yeah.
Means flew away.
Yeah.
Oh, sir.
Yeah, over there's a size difference, right? But yeah, mobbing is also, where do you draw a line? Yeah.
Oh, correct. That's true, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, what are saliers again? You mentioned, I don't remember that term being used.
Yeah, saling birds are the ones that catch insects in flight, in air.
But
It was
only
mentioned
cleaners.
earlier, right, sir?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, but A is like cleaning, right?
Sorry?
Uh, Actually, the term like the A, whatever happens in the A, is like it is done by cleaning birds, also not salaries, right?
Yeah, gleaning is basically with your beaks moving things around, and yeah, so it can happen
That's
in.
what. That's how the if we take the example of babblers, that's how the babblers like they turn around and twist the vegetation and the leaves through which they go through for their prey, and by in that time, all the insects or the thing will fly up, and then it will be prey for other birds.
But we also talked. But we also talked about kleptoparasitism of babblers, right?
A babbler, yeah, Drongo does that to the babbler, right?
Yeah.
So,
Drongo is a
in
salier.
this case, so in the case of babblers, the babblers are the cleaners and the drongos are the saliers, right,
Yes,
sir?
yes.
But in a mixed species flock, drongos wouldn't need to kleptoparasitize since it's a working arrangement,
No,
right, sir?
why won't it resort to kleptoparasitism?
But if it's a mixed species flock, we can assume that there is some level of.
So actually, then
Govind, you mean to say some level of mutual benefits?
Yeah, mutual cooperation.
so both are like gregarious only, no sir. Being the sentinel, it keeps calling or something whenever there is a threat, drongo, and babbler in itself is actually a gregarious bird. So it's like both in this example I'm saying both the drongo and the babblers both are gregarious species. Also.
No. Okay. This is more intra-specific gregarious bird.
By gregarious, you mean social, right, sir?
Yes,
So,
yes. That's the gregarious is the term. At least till 2014, Sridhar was using.
Sir,
Not sure of
aren't drongos also gregarious?
like intra-specifically, I don't think so. Not much.
But I have seen multiple, like 5 to 6 birds, drongos together in a tree, and they are like hunting together.
Yeah, but they are. I mean, yeah, we're talking about nature. Yeah. I can't answer to a question like this when like everything is. Yeah.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
No, Lakshmi, I understand, but it's just that we're talking about nature. So much. There is no black and white, so you can't just say no. I've seen this, so it must be true. Types. There are always exceptions, and the exceptions has to be taken with a pinch of salt. That's all I'm saying.
Correlation and causation in this case, right, sir?
Sorry, what?
Well, just because drongos are together on a tree doesn't mean they're actually interacting.
That could be true, or they could be just together because there were a lot of food. So that is not basically. So like we did talk about that, right? If there's a lot of food together, there are a lot of birds that come together. That's not exactly mixed species flock. So, yeah.
Correlation and causation in that case.
Yeah. Sorry, Lakshmi, I didn't mean to. Be very. I hope I wasn't rude.
No, sir. No,
But,
sir. This is where how we learn and grow.
No,
we need
but
to
just
change our thinking so that because as you said, nature is very mysterious and we can't go on with a set of fixed ideologies of fixed thinking.
Yeah,
we need
like
to. Yeah, that's what.
black
This
and
is how I
white.
learned, sir.
It's not black and white in nature.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no issues, sir. I get to learn. It's enough for me.
Yeah. Anyway, so everyone thinks it's A. So somebody. Oh, Lakshmi did say it's D. Okay. So I mean, there might be a problem with the question I frame, but if if we can take it with a pinch of salt, then C is also a good option. Like basically, non-salliers obtain protection benefit. Non-salliers are usually not looking for food from the gregarious species, because gregarious species are the ones that glean in the leaf litter and the tree bark and all, and they push out the insect and spiders or whatever, and these are then basically they're flushing with the movement, and these are then taken upon by the salliers. Can be both in terms of kleptoparasitism or just flushing. I mean, flushed by which was not caught by the gleaner and caught by the sallier eventually. So A and B, so definitely is there. Non-salliers are usually are in a mixed flock because according to Sridhar's paper, it's because of the protection that it gets in flocks. The more eyes hypothesis, that more eyes are there. So I mean, if
Protection in numbers.
yeah, protection numbers. Yes, Appa sahib. And Govind, sorry, you both have risen your hand. Appa sahib, you wanna go first?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Govind, you wanna say something?
Well, I was just thinking if salliers or say in this case drongos, if they kleptoparasitize babblers in an example, wouldn't the babblers not find the drongos rather unreliable sentinel, like unreliable in terms of identifying danger?
It also depends on the probability with which it kleptoparasitizes. I mean, it's not the best example, but we were doing a little bit of study on kleptoparasitism, and out of all those days, I think we had like one successful case of kleptoparasitism by the, like we did study for like about over a month or something, and we found like one successful case of kleptoparasitism by the drongo. So I mean, yeah, I mean, that's a very low probability to learn something of that sort, right? I mean, to get that idea. Anyways, I mean, I'm not, yeah.
Yes, sir. I was
Like I
just
said, it's a very
wondering if
bad example.
the drongo might, for example, cry wolf too much.
But it does cry wolf when when it's required. So I think there's a trade-off over there, which I mean, it's not taken into account by the drongo like as an individual, but there is a trade-off that we're talking about evolutionary, that there would be some kind of a balance that is maintained.
Yeah, if it tries to cry wolf multiple times, then others may not pay attention to that, and
Yeah.
the drongo itself might lose that opportunity.
Yeah.
And also, do drongos sometimes use the sentinel position to their advantage and try to sell out the other birds?
What do you mean sell out?
Well, okay, I can give an example in another case. Like, are you aware how when lions go hunting in Africa, baboons in the trees, they may warn the predators, warn the prey that lions are nearby, and thereby issue an alarm call.
Yeah.
Well, I just saw this video on YouTube once that I forgot where. I think it's in Botswana. I'm not sure. So basically, the baboons and lions have this sort of arrangement whereby the lions won't target or hunt the baboons in any way, and in turn, the baboons will not act as sentinels for the other prey species.
Oh.
I was wondering if.
Okay. Yeah.
I was wondering if this arrangement existed in birds too.
I mean, that is something that is at least I haven't come across any such study, but if you do come across something like that, do tell us. But I am not sure of something like that in the bird world. At least not the Indian bird world.
I was just wondering.
No, I'm not sure.
Birds can be pretty.
Yeah.
Birds can be pretty smart too. I was wondering if such an arrangement existed. It'd be very interesting if it did.
Okay. But I'm really intrigued about this baboon and lion. I haven't heard about it. There is no such kind of like, I mean, if technically it's supposed to happen between mammals, then it can also happen between a tiger and a langur, for example, or yeah, in the central Indian forest and all. No.
Well, both lions and baboons are social, so it's more likely in that case, I guess, sir.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm totally not sure, but can happen. I don't think people have observed that, but people have been looking at these birds for a really long time. They haven't even come up with such a hypothesis anywhere. But yeah, probably they haven't been looking the right way.
Still, it's an interesting example, right, sir?
Yes, it is. I have to check if it's true exactly. Sorry, but I'm not doubting you, but I'm just.
I perfectly understand, sir. Scientists and all. Sir, regarding that example about lions and baboons, I shared the link in the chat box.
Oh.
Do you aspire to work in?
Okay, I'll watch it later. But yeah, thanks. Yeah. Rusbe, assuming A implies that the males are conversely gaudy and prominent. Yeah, most female birds. That's why I said most female birds, not all female birds. And yeah, they do have earthy and drab plumage. Sorry for the use of such negative.
No, I meant that my answer is if A is the assumption. So, then A also becomes an example of the handicap principle.
How? Sorry?
Because, because the male of the species is prominent. So, if you say that the female is earthy and drab, that implies that the male is not. In which case, for the species, that's.
Oh, for the species. Oh.
So
okay.
maybe I just interpreted it differently.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yes.
So, how is C an example of handicap principle?
So basically, what Arabian babblers do is the alpha male or the female that are also the sentinels. So they are the sentinels as well. So they spend a lot of time sentineling, and they also feed the others. Basically, uh, saying that basically saying that they can incur the cost of feeding others and still survive or still be dominant. Still, yeah. So
So
basically,
the handicap principle is not exclusive to males and females, not sexually dimorphic alone.
no, no, I don't think so.
It can also apply to hierarchy in a system, right, sir?
Yes.
Not simply between males and females. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, option A is the direct result of the handicap principle. So,
No, A is not because of handicap principle, but probably males on that birds could have been handicap principle, but females of those
males
birds.
are gaudy only, then females develop grab.
No, that's not true. Females are generally the birds that are nesting, and some of them are ground nesters, some of them have nest in the branches or whatever, and they are early and drab just because of the camouflage and protect them from. So it's an anti-predatory behavior, not behavior, anti-predatory evolution rather than handicap principle.
So doesn't A imply a handicap principle in the real?
Exactly, that's what I meant, sir.
So that's why I write female birds and not male birds. But yeah. But why would it imply? Is what I don't understand.
Specifically stating that most female birds are drab or don't have anything
Yeah.
special, kind of implies that males do, right, sir?
But you can take, for example, sparrows. House sparrows. It's not like the males are really. They're not really colorful or something, but they do have.
In such a case, it would just be, you just mentioned like sparrows don't have any special outstanding features among them, but you mentioned that just females in this case, which kind of gives the impression that males do have handicap principle.
Okay. So when I said most female birds in birds in earthy and drab plumage, so how the plumage in the female birds and the plumage in the male birds have evolved separately, and because of different principles is what I understand. The males probably because of the handicap principle, because there's a female selection over there, but the females, although it said that there's a male selection involved, but that has not been proved yet. But females are usually drab and earthy because of the anti-predatory.
Camouflage, right, sir?
Huh?
Camouflage to the nest. Right,
Yes. So there is no handicap principle involved.
So what I understand is, from what you said, the females, they look drab and earthy, so that it can invest its energy more into the parenting rather than showing off, right?
No, when you say it like that, it sounds wrong. No, not because it wants to invest in parenting. It's drab and earthy because it wants to be saved from the predators and not be seen, like not be prominent, like the males are. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that's what I meant. Like, females are not gaudy and prominent because they want to be not or as camouflage as possible, while they are breeding and yeah, taking care of the eggs and stuff like that. But yeah. Oh, we're almost done. Okay, so the last two questions. There's no use of keeping the questions.
So, in this, I don't know if I'm able to put it in correct words or something. If it is option B, they provide to the other birds while they sally, but then while they seek, no sir, like when they seek for their prey, they make it possible for other birds to have food in flock. So it's both seekers and providers. You, as they are seeking, that's why they can provide other birds. So it can be C and D both, right?
Yeah.
If it comes like this in multiple transmissions, what to choose?
I'll go for D.
Ah.
Anyways, we don't have time.
Because the mixed species flock are important for flock formation. They seek, that's why they form flock.
Well, I feel the reason that they are important in forming mixed species flocks are because that they are the primary providers. They may also be the seekers, but the reason that they are the providers are the reason that mixed species flocks are formed, right, sir?
Yeah. Anyways, let's go to the last question and then we end the session. Oh, हाँ. Okay, I am. So, yeah, it's also given in the lecture where Manjari talks about how safer together hypothesis may actually explain the pre-roost murmurations than the warmer together hypothesis, which doesn't make sense. So, at least in this case, in the case of European starlings. All right, so we've come to the end. Shall we say our goodbyes?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Sir,
Huh.
just a few seconds. I kind of joined late because I was unable to join it first. How do I missed the first three questions. Where can I see the video?
It's there.
No, it will be uploaded.
It's there in the PPT. It's the same PPT. I'll just you'll get it.
This is
Where do I
actually
get the PPT?
It's okay.
no, so these videos are recorded now. So
Videos are also recorded. Okay, PPTs are not shared with you. But how? Okay, I thought they were shared with you. But anyways, videos are also there. So I'll just share it.
Where do I watch the videos?
It's on my channel. Jobin
In
Varughese.
YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube. Yes.
What's the name? The Jobin only? Like
Yeah. It's in my name, Jobin Varughese. So I think it would be the same email ID, jobin@students.IISER Tirupati. Yeah.
Can you please post the link to your YouTube channel
Okay.
in the chat box?
Just a sec then. Oh, I thought you guys were following that. Okay, just a sec. Here. It's got all the. It's also got some videos from the last course that I took, wildlife ecology. But because it's an NPTEL thing, it's a PMRF thing. So yeah, NPTEL and PMRF, so they like combine together. But yeah,
So what is PMRF, sir?
Prime Minister Research Fellowship. I mean, that's the full form, but it's like the it's like a fellowship that is given to certain students per every year to carry out their research. Like you have to apply and you have to give an interview and stuff like that.
When is this video posted, sir?
This video I'll post it today. It's not. I haven't even recorded. I mean, finished recording it yet, but I'll post it today.
Thank you, sir.
All right then. PMRF, you can Google it up. People who are asking about PMRF, it's Prime Minister Research Fellowship.
All the best, sir.
Okay. Thank you.